Hello and welcome to Wizard World Virtual Experiences. I'm Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics. We are streaming to you live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, bringing you that Comic-Con life to the comfort of your home with these free, that's right, free celebrity panels. In addition to paid exclusive experiences, including one-on-one private video chats, custom recorded messages, and autographs, including these cast members, on sale at wizardworldvirtual.com. They're always on sale at Wizard World Virtual, so even if you're just catching this on a replay throughout the rest of the week, you can still sign up. Definitely check out these once-in-a-lifetime experiences with your favorite cast members. And also, don't forget to check out the signed memorabilia and works of art from our favorite artists and vendors from previous virtual experiences and physical conventions at wizardworldvault.com. It's my pleasure to bring to the virtual stage from the cast of True Blood. First and foremost, let's hear it from Miss Carrie Preston. Yay! Hello, hello, hello. Next up, we're going to bring up Kristin Bauer. Yay! Hello.
Hi, Carrie.
Next, we have Lauren Bowles. Hello, how are you?
Hey,
girl. Next up, we have Janina Gavankar.
Woo!
Yay! Hey, Janina.
Mr. Michael Raymond James. Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, Louis Herthum. Hello. Ladies and gents, how are we doing today? How are you guys surviving 2020 right now? Are you living your best life, finding a way to do so? Talk to me.
2020 needs to just stop.
Right?
Stop.
Oh, dear.
Like, who wrote this one? This is like the craziest
you know
year.
what? If you were to write it, it wouldn't be believable, actually.
Absolutely true.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And
true.
here we are. I live on the west side of Los Angeles, and we've been having record heat, and I don't have air conditioning because we never.
Lou, you still don't have air?
No.
Oh my
Well,
God.
I have windows that go out like this, so I try to find an air condition that fits in one of those, and those little things you put in your room, they don't work. So,
Ow.
You need
no,
a swamp
trust
cooler.
me, I will be getting it if I have to change.
Okay, I was gonna say, man, like
think
that's
we need to fire the entire writers' room of 2020, and let's just
Yeah, that's true.
just
Let's
throw it all out.
get all the showrunner.
Yeah. Let's
38
just start
years,
things
Pull
going
back.
out.
Are you sitting in like a kiddie pool?
Say again?
Are you sitting in a kiddie pool?
If you pull back a little bit, if we could see like a wider shot, are you like sitting in a kiddie pool right now to keep cool, or
a kiddie pool filled with ice cubes.
yeah?
Listen, we're
We can
being
send
polite.
that.
We're
Let's
not
make
seeing
that
from
happen.
the
Somebody
waist
get this guy
down. No waist down
cool
shots,
off.
just to keep people safe. I totally understand that. Guys, we've got people from all over the world tuning in. Let's see. We've got folks from Mississippi, the Netherlands, New Jersey, Finland, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, Massachusetts, North Carolina, France, Connecticut, Chicago, the UK, Eubanks, Kentucky. That's so very specific. Upstate New York, Columbus, Ohio, my hometown. What up? That's right. That's right. Look, I see Michael's face. Did y'all see that right there? That's that blue in him right there. It just came out. I saw it.
Victor's valiant. Hell.
Hey, and listen, I will admit, as much as I am of a Buckeye, I do like that fight song. Hail to the Victor speaks to me. I don't know what it is. Okay, so I just got to know, like, obviously this was a huge show, huge phenomenon. You guys are fantastic characters, but which of you were fans of the book series before the show?
I never
No.
read them.
Not at all?
No, I didn't know anything about them, but I was doing before the show was even in my mind, I was doing a movie that Alan Ball wrote and was directing. And so I asked him, hey, what are you up to next? Because he had just finished 6 Feet Under, and then he was doing this feature. And he said, well, I've been reading these books and I'm going to do a series for HBO based on these books. And I was like, what's it about? And he's like, vampires. I was like, what? The vampires? I mean, of all things, you know? And then he was like, yeah, they're just really fun. I want to make like this popcorn for adults. And, you know, I think I might have something for you in it. You should check out the books. So I started kind of looking through the books, and I didn't know what character he was. I didn't know what character he was picturing for me.
Right.
And then they were, you know, he's like, no, it's Arlene. It's Arlene. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. That sounds amazing. So
That's fantastic.
then I read the books, you know,
Okay,
after
okay.
he had told me about them. Yeah.
Did everyone else read them eventually, or at least peruse? No, everybody's like, no, I'm creating an original character.
I was
Well-
on my season and I died, so you know.
Well,
They departed so much from the book.
that is true.
Yeah, I didn't want to get confused in my.
Went to dinner with the author, didn't we?
I was just going to mention that. Yeah. And she
That's
was
awesome.
so kind. I mean, she was so
Her
wonderful.
daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, to just
She was
say,
lovely.
you know, that
I went to
Alan-
Australia with her. With
really?
Charlene, yeah, for a convention, and she's lovely. I told her, I was like, I didn't. It's not that I'm not interested. I just this was going to be Alan Ball's show. I didn't want to get confused in my brain of like reading a script that Alan puts out and be like, that's not the way the book runs, and start to get confused inside. There's only so much. I believe in brain germs for myself, and if it gets infected in here, cabin pressure is gone and everything gets clear.
Oh my gosh, I'm using that. I'm using brain germs.
Yes.
I'll quote you. Yeah,
I like
I
that.
remember asking Alan, should I diligently read the books? And he said no, that they had strayed so much at that point. But when we sat down with Charlene, she was so kind and so just
Her daughter.
yeah, and her daughter, yeah. And she basically said that Alan captured the spirit of the books and kept that sacred. And then the rest was just, it was up to everyone else to make it what it became.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And you guys did such a great job. I gotta ask this question. How much are you like your characters individually? Michael, we are gonna save you for last on that answer. We're gonna come back around to you. But Kristin, can we start with you?
Yeah, I can't stand humans and kill them off.
Okay, that's very Pam-like.
The people who are friends of mine and Skarsgård and everyone would just be, I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound like I'm patting myself on the back. It's like, no, I'm very different than Pam, but she's in there. So I cry like 50 times a day and I'm way on the sensitive side, but I'm sort of a hybrid where that character, Pam, is in there. Like, I agreed with everything she said. She was accurate. And I just wish that in my life I could be as accurate openly.
That's wonderful.
So she's in there, but I'm sensitive as hell.
Wear the corset more.
What was that?
I said you just need to wear more corsets in your life, probably.
Oh my God, that's one thing. The first corset day, I hadn't worn them before. And I'd flown in from the Philippines, went straight to my fang fitting, went straight to the set, no idea what this was, or there were books. And I'm there in this corset, and Anna goes, "Hey, nice to meet you. Don't eat." And I was like, what? And then at lunch, they unlaced me, and I ate.
Oh.
Never did it again.
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. Lauren, how about you and Holly? Are you guys similar?
Yeah, I'd say I think I have a lot of similarities with Holly. I'm a big nature lover, and kind of through this insane time period we're living through, have found a lot of solace in hiking and being in nature. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big nutritionista, so I'm all about my herbs and all kinds of healing powers of what food can do, and it really is its own medicine. So I feel like I've got a lot of similarities with
Beautiful.
I can say that Lauren definitely has some witchy ways with her nutrition.
And said lovingly.
And she would often like look at what I was eating for snacks and go, "Oh God."
Here's also my favorite thing I remember off set is like the guys were normally the chicks on True Blood. They were all so body focused and only eating protein and this. And then like there would be, I'd sitting next to Carrie who had just finished her breakfast burrito and then onto her Cheetos. And it was like, looking, just rocking her short shorts. Didn't have a care in the world. So we're big foodies in my household. So I do love to eat. I just like to keep it, a little bit on the healthier fare.
Nothing wrong with that. Carrie? How about you?
Well, I mean, I grew up in the South. I grew up in Georgia. So, Arlene's kind of, Southern fried ways came naturally to me. I mean, she's a lot more she was a lot more histrionic and dramatic and stuff than I am. I'm way more practical than she is. But, oh no, I totally related to her and how much she cares about things. Like I can totally get into that. Obviously, Arlene was a little, it took her a while to come around to the otherness of the vampires, but she did. And I was very, very grateful for that arc, that they gave me such a great journey to play, and
love it.
But yeah, I love my girl, Arlene. I couldn't wait to get into her skin every day.
I love that.
And yeah.
Speaking of getting into people's skin, Janina, how much like Luna are you?
I'm kind of like her. Yeah. My whole thing with her was that she was just trying her best. Just trying her best with what she was given. And had this thing that she didn't choose for herself, which I identify with. We all have things that we were born into that we choose for ourselves, and we do the best in the paradigm we are dealing with. And she just had I actually totally identified with her. Well, now that I think about it, I'm like,
yeah, that was all me right there. I love it.
It's just like, Kristin said, like, these people are in there.
Mm-hmm.
These people are in there. And that's some of the most exciting work you get to do, is when someone is as on the cover of the book as different as could be.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you find your doorway into a strange house that you didn't know about that lives inside of you, that's the juiciest work you get to do.
That is the most poetic description of acting I think I've ever heard. Please use that often. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Lewis, what about you and JD? Yeah, we're gonna get to that one. Yeah.
Did you say me?
Yes, Lewis.
I'm absolutely nothing like JD. I mean, which is great, right? You get to play. I mean, I will say this. When I got the audition, it said that JD was a large Marine type guy. And I told my agents, I said, I'm 5'10". I had longish hair and a beard. I said, I'm the farthest thing, but I'll give him a real Louisiana accent at least, because I'm from there.
There you go.
So I'm like him in that respect, but I mean, he was a pretty vicious guy. And but I guess I could say that our determination is similar, but probably about where it ends. But it was a blast to play. I still have a mark on my leg, which I will have till the day I die, from the fight that Joe Manganiello and I had. Well, I mean, he's 6'5", 235 pounds of rock.
I mean, but you did hold your own throughout that whole thing. Don't make it sound like, he was just overpowering you the whole time.
Well, I wanted to be a stuntman before I became an actor, since I was 12. So I reveled in doing that. And I've done a lot of fights, on camera. But I've never fought a guy twice my size. So thank you for saying that. But of course, there some of the things I think where he throws me through the air, it's my double for that. But we at least did the whole fight.
There you go.
He was a great guy. He doesn't know that it was an accident, but
he's totally watching now, and he's gonna text you when this is over and gonna apologize, because that's just gonna happen. Okay, Michael. Now, some of my favorite roles that you've been in your career, you're always playing like this very dark character. So I gotta know, like, what's driving you to these roles, man?
Maybe it's my face, dude. I don't know. I'm more like Arlene's character than Renee in real life. I'm, have myself a come apart about twice a day.
Respect that.
And that's, after watching a battery commercial, I just get in tears.
Me too, Michael.
I was gonna say, that's the definition of 2020 right there.
We talked about this in Paris. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. I mean, there's I don't know if there could have been a further character for me. I'm from Detroit. He's Cajun. He's a serial killer. I'm just not that,
What a descriptor.
Hey, I want to ask Michael, you, because being from Louisiana, I got to say, my brother, and I grew up with a Cajun accent all around me. Your Cajun accent was spot on. It's one of the best I've heard.
Yes.
And I've done it, and I know how hard it is.
I appreciate that. I found somebody that, when we got it, I got the offer. I called up my team and I was like, I need to find a dialect coach for this. And I was like, I don't want it to be some professor at Yale or Harvard or whatever, just knows the diphthongs and this is how you fuck that. Like, I need somebody. We can cuss in this, right? That's okay? No,
I mean, it's True Blood, right?
Right? So fucking A. But I needed to have somebody that had gumbo in their DNA, and the guy I found, his name was Errol Guidry, and he was a proper Cajun from Mermentau, Louisiana. And so he would be my first call as soon as HBO wouldn't pay for it, by the way. I sent them the bill. They were like, oh, we love what you're doing. I was like, wait a minute. The reason I'm doing that is because I got this guy, and Yeah, so that was my own thing. I just did that on my own just because I didn't.
Brilliant.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's so good.
So we've got some questions building up, and I'm going to jump right into those. Rachel wants to know, what do you guys miss the most about True Blood? Whoever wants to jump in on that one. That's a heavy question.
I'll say the opposite. And like I said, I only did one season. What I don't miss is all night shoots.
Oh yeah, those were rough.
I missed 2006. That's what I really miss.
Oh man.
Yes.
I miss the people. I miss the cast.
But another thing I don't miss is just what we used to call the fear diet. Do you remember that? It was we were all naked all the time. And then the first thing I bonded with Sam over was just like, what's your first meal going to be next week? Doing this very, very scene. It was like our first moment of bonding. He taught me about umami burgers. That's how much I remember that first meal.
That is so funny.
And because no one ever asked me to be naked.
So retroactively, that's okay. I got you.
Right now.
Janina, I didn't have to be naked. I did have to take my shirt off in 23-degree weather my very first night of shooting.
Yeah.
What?
But I did. I understand. I used to call it naked shape for Westworld. So you got to stay in naked shape.
Yeah, you did a lot of naked.
Yeah, there was a lot of
mostly naked in Westworld, just sitting in a chair, just very.
You didn't have to do the full-on naked in 23-degree weather, because that's just not going to help the situation.
It was that weird place. Up above, like Calabasas or wherever, where it has climate. It was like 23 degrees that night.
My first day, Sam and I are laying on the grass, and then we had like blankets over us because it was just better to just stay in place instead of like letting a stand-in sit in. Right. And I heard a crunch under somebody's feet, and I was like, "What's happening? What am I hearing?" And the ground had frosted over.
Wow! And you guys are just nakedly laying there.
Yeah,
that's not dangerous.
Yeah.
We were never physically comfortable, but the thing I miss the most is laughing. Like my vampire crew, we laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. I mean, Alex and I just laughed, and Moyer and I, oh my God. I don't know if we were as funny as we thought we were to each other, but 3 a.m, 19 degrees in a mini skirt, you don't know what's funny anymore.
Everything's funny at that point.
I mean, just the joy of it was just the physical brutality was inversely proportional to the joy. It was just these carny folks that were my family for 7 years. See, I'm crying, Mike.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting into
this is the HBO money.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
maybe
HBO
kind of.
It's a great network too. It's just a great network to work for.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, they really.
And they know how to throw a party.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, okay, wait, hold on. Talk about it. Let's go. What do we miss?
Do you guys remember the Playboy True Blood Comic-Con party?
Yes.
That was so weird. You guys, we did the weirdest things, but God, we had fun.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing. Can we bring that back? Can we do a reunion of that part?
Yeah, can we?
Yeah, you have to talk to HBO and ask them for us.
Listen, HBO, if you're watching right now, hey guys, I'm just throwing it out there.
What at one point? So I remember hearing that they were going to do like a True Blood the musical. Do you remember that? Right after we?
I
wonder what happened to that.
That was right when we ended. There were all like the show's movies.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So I kept asking Bucky, who was our showrunner at the end, like, "Well, so when's the True Blood movie?" And he just looked at me like he was gonna throttle me.
He was exhausted.
Oh my God, that's
so tired. Poor man.
So tired.
Janine 4 asked, were you satisfied with the direction and development of your characters and where they ultimately went? Now, obviously, Lewis, your character.
No, I was not. I'm kidding.
I mean, did you want to see JD redeemed?
I'm sorry?
Did you want to see JD redeemed?
Of course. I mean, because all these things they're saying, I mean, it was a freaking amazing, experience, and the people were just so wonderful. And I remember the night of the premiere of season 5, walking out of the screening next to Alan, and he said, and I had just found out that, that JD was gonna, and, when he told me, he said, it's just sort of the way things work out. And I said, it's cool, Alan. It's been a great experience. But I will say this, when I beat up JD, when JD beat up Alcee that time, while we were doing that, I looked at Joe, I said, this is going to end real bad for JD. There's no way that this guy is going to
get out
the star of the show and live to tell.
That's fair. That's very fair. Michael, what about you? Did you enjoy the direction? Would you have liked to see things go in a different way?
Well, I mean, I knew the score when I signed up for it. You know what I mean? Like I knew I was going to be killing folks, and I knew I wasn't going to make it. And so yeah, so that was the deal. I really loved the way it got to be sort of, it was fun the way they did the reveal towards the end. So I was just a regular little Cajun fellow with his woman, and everything's cool, seems all right, and then at the end, kind of the scrambled eggs, the brain comes out, and so yeah, I was really happy the way they did. Look, Alan Ball knows how to tell a story. You know what I mean? And just to get back to HBO, because maybe I don't want to offend anybody over there by saying they didn't pay for the thing. They didn't, but they are so great to work for because they give you the freedom to tell the story the way that you want to do it, and they give you a lot of support as opposed to some other places which are, a little bit more interference. They're fantastic that way. So yeah, no, I was great with the way the whole thing went down.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Carrie, as Arlene, did you love how that played out?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I just love that, she got such a journey. Like we see her, she's so closed-minded. She can't see, she's terrified of these vampires. And then I didn't know where it was going. But the fact that she ends up, with this vampire, and that she's able to accept and love and feel loved by, this other was, I was just so grateful for that, because we could have just kept her in the kind of racist zone, and it could have been fun just to keep sort of laughing at her, because I know that, Arlene, which I loved, was very much in charge of serving up the humor, and keeping it grounded in the human world and serving up the humor. And I loved that. But then they would pile on these like really intense things for Arlene to go through, with the death of Terry, which was just horrible, because I loved Todd Lowe and I loved working with him. But I think it was some of the most exciting things, was one of the most exciting things that happened on the show, was his journey, and then sadly his death. But it did go to such a moving, deep place, and I was grateful that I was trusted with that, and then that it got to keep going, and her character just kept deepening from day one.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Janina? Oh, you're muted.
When when you sign your contract for these things, it's like you sign a 5 or 7 year deal. And I was like, I'm only going to last a year. Everybody dies on True Blood. Like, that's what I thought. And then I remember sitting on a curb with Bucky and going, I would think of maybe we were in the middle of my first season, which was season 4. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I've had such a wonderful time with you. Like, I was almost just like already saying goodbye. And he was like, what are you talking about? Oh, no. You're coming back next season. We love you. We're going to get you to as beloved as we can, and then we'll kill you.
That's the joy of playing a great character. That's what that is.
But that's also just like, it tells you how much love and care they put into arcs. Right. People, right. There are plenty of writers' rooms who add characters in just for the gags, just for the bits, bits that they have in their head. And and or how you can just be of service to another one of their main characters. That's what happens mostly to female characters. You are there to service a male character. And even just knowing that they had it in them to put enough energy into creating a character that they could make beloved and then kill her is a feat. And it's not, I mean, sad to say, it's not normal.
True. Very, very true. Very true. Lauren, what about you?
I completely assumed coming in season 3 that I was going to not survive the Witch Wars, or season 4 rather. Sorry, I was brought in 3 to then partake in 4, and but I remember when I did, I'm like, oh God, I'm going to be so one of those characters that is so not going to make it to the end. But it was the trajectory of, I think, hooking me up with Sheriff Andy that did allow me to survive. But thank God we didn't like fully get happy to the end, because they are right. True Blood did not like happy people in love. So
that is true.
It didn't happen until the very end, kept me alive throughout. So that I was thrilled about.
I understand. Kristin, with Pam, there's a difference between how she's portrayed on the show than from the book. So did you enjoy how she was put in the show? Very assertive and not one to mess with, that's for sure.
I did love it. All of listening to these stories is so interesting, because in hindsight, my mind is like, well, I auditioned for a guest star, and then Pam got this incredible 7-year arc. But there was so much about it, day in, episode out, where I did live in insecurity, not knowing, am I dying? Am I, oh, you read the script? Really? How is it? Like, you trying to read their face, they're not looking me in the eyes. I must be dying. Like, so it really was a fascinating journey. I auditioned for a guest star, possible recurring. I knew it was Alan Ball, Vampires, HBO. I was like, I'm in. But I've never been allowed to play a tough character. This look in television has never before been tough. Around Basic Instinct, we did get blonde women who wanted to fucking kill. Like, that came in on the scene. But the reason that I got to play Pam is because she was written looking like this in the books, and there was that juxtaposition to her true character. So the fact that I got to play a tough person, oh my God. And now I'm completely typecast in that and love it. Like, but where I got to go with my relationship with Alex and through season 7, again, like Lauren, and Janina, they did, at a certain point, realize that Godric Eric relationship would be the Pam Eric relationship.
Nice.
And I think that was all these things that happen behind closed doors, and you are either dead or win the lottery. So ultimately, I feel so lucky and so happy. I mean, Alex and I just had the best season 7.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Lady Casserole wants to know, aside from one that you played, who is your favorite character? And that's for everybody. Who is your favorite that you didn't play?
Pam had the best clothes and the best lines.
She kind of did. That kind of got gifted some amazing stuff. That my job was just to not screw it up. But also Nelson, right? Lafayette also got.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a no-brainer.
Yes. Oh, we all loved Lafayette's character.
That's my answer as well.
Yes.
Totally.
He's probably the first character that really just made me go, wow.
Yeah.
And I remember the very first table read, Janina, you'll appreciate this, because he walked in and he said, "The gates," and he pointed at me, and I went, "Yeah, man." He goes, "Dude, I love that show." And I was like
he's one of the 10 whole people that watched.
That's right. But if somebody had, a hell of a guy to. I was just so flattered because I admired him so much, because I didn't come in until season 5, and so I knew his work very well.
Oh yeah.
But I also have to say, Kristin, I loved your character, because you did have all the best lines, and you play the badass like to a T.
Yes.
It was
And you
so
are such a
fun.
sweet person too. So
It was so fun.
yeah,
Being bad is always fun. I totally understand that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got a couple more questions that we want to try to knock out. Obviously, talking about some of the great things that you guys got to experience. We've got Reba Ann wants to know, did you bring home any souvenirs? Who stole things? Tell the truth.
yeah. The thing on my leg from Joe.
The souvenir that they can never take back. Absolutely. That's a great story too.
T-shirt.
Okay.
I have whatever our amazing designer let me keep one of my waitress T-shirts. So I have that. That's all I snagged.
That's brilliant.
I have a couple of T-shirts that they let me have. One of them I had everybody sign.
That's
So I have everyone's signature on it. Yeah, Marlotte's T-shirt with everyone. And then they let me take a homemade pies from Merlotte's, a sign
beautiful.
that homemade pies, which I used.
Light ones.
The wooden one that was kind of shaped like this, and it had a little piece of pie, and it said homemade pies on it, and it was kind of beat up. And, I mean, I lived in that bar. I lived in Merlotte's, like it felt like a real bar to me, even though it was on a soundstage. And so I was staring at those signs, for 15 hours, because I mean, when you play a waitress, even if you don't have any lines, you still have to be there because they need you to wipe frame with with the tray.
Right.
And Lauren knows. So we would be there for 14, 15 hours or whatever,
The longest we logged was like 17 hours.
17 hours sometimes, just sitting in that bar staring at all those signs. And you know what? They had that set design was incredible.
Oh, awesome.
Incredible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it was nice to have a little bit of Merlotte's, and I have it in my
That's amazing.
I wish I had more Asia. They asked me, I feel the same way about that place. But they asked me on like my last day, or the last week in that set, Kristin, is there anything you want? And I started looking around the room and I was like, I can't do this. I can't. So I didn't say anything. And then and nobody did a big, this is our last scene in Fantasia. And I was so glad because I was like, okay, that's a wrap, goodbye, and ran to my car and cried.
Oh.
And then I went back 2 days later and I thought, I'll go in the set. I'll just walk across from one stage to another and go in there and look around in my own time. And it was gone. 2 days.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Empty. You could have roller skated through there. And I was like, oh, wow. And then our producers sent me the George Bush with fangs biting the Statue of Liberty painting that was in there. And I wish I could have everyone sign it. That would, so I didn't really know what to take. I was like, do I want to take a shot glass and then have to keep it the rest of my life because I'm sentimental?
In my mind, you're home sitting in the throne right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think anybody would begrudge you if you did that under any circumstance.
They asked Alex if he wanted the throne, and he was like, no.
Secretly, he did take it.
Why didn't I take the throne?
Doesn't
would have been
anybody have a
super
thing
symbolic.
of the True Blood drink that they were making?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
I have a thing of that.
Oh,
Nice.
I do too.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you cracked it open? Do you know what's in it?
No.
Okay.
No.
You're gonna find out
sure
it's actual.
Terrible now.
Somebody in the chat can tell us. I'm sure somebody in the chat has tasted it. I think it was like a fizzy blood orange.
Oh, really? I would have thought it was like Hawaiian punch or
someone in the chat can tell us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if there's
tell us.
anybody in there, you will definitely get a shout out if you've had True Blood. So we want to know.
What a great campaign.
So obviously we love True Blood. That's what's brought us here together. But there are some other projects that you guys have worked on, and we kind of want to know what should we be looking for from you next. So if we can start with Carrie, what are you working on right now?
Well, I'm in the final season of a show called Claws. This is we're in our 4th season, and we were halfway through, and then COVID shut us down. But we're going back to work next week. So Lewis will be back down in New Orleans. Yep.
Yay.
And so and it's been an extraordinary ride. Like, just I got to play an amazing role in that show. And then they also let me direct. So I directed an episode last season. I directed an episode this season that thankfully is in the can before COVID, because it would be really tough to go back and direct something during COVID that I'm also in. That would just be a little too much. So luckily my episode is in the can this season. So yeah, I've got that.
That's awesome. Before we continue, I want to give the shout out. Okay, so Akasha the Damned, Jesse Myers, Maria McQuestion, Ruth Gale all said yes, blood orange sugar drink. And Reba Ann said it was gross. She bought the 4-pack and it wasn't delicious.
That's fine. It's memorabilia.
It's more about, the memories of things. Kristin?
Yeah, so I did last year. I got to do one season with Rael Tucker, Scott Wynett, and Ryan Quanten. So True Blood writer, producer, actor.
That's awesome.
We finished, and then here we are. So I'm cleaning out my closet.
I understand. Hopefully we get you for some more voice actor work.
Yeah.
I understand. Yes, because you are my Queen Mira from Justice League forever. Just gonna throw that out there.
Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. Absolutely.
I
welcome.
love Justice League.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of voice work, Janina, what all do you have on the horizon?
Okay, so I think when you said voice work, you were talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Anything, but definitely that.
Okay, yeah. So if you played the video games, you can play Star Wars Battlefront 2. I was lucky enough to be the protagonist in that game. I wrote and directed a short film called Stucco that is online now, and it just won a special a special jury award at South by Southwest, and it just passed the 15 million mark in views on YouTube, which is
congratulations.
Wild. Yeah, it's weird. If you like True Blood, you might like it, actually. And then I had a really beautiful movie with Ben Affleck come out on March 6th.
Wow, cool.
Beautiful.
But it's everywhere now, so you can watch it. It's called The Way Back. We're so proud of it. And then, I go back to work really soon. I'm shooting an Amazon movie the second week of October, and then we go back to finish season 2 of The Morning Show in the middle of October. So God bless us all.
Yes. Lauren, what about you?
I wrapped my last job in January was How to Get Away with Murder that aired, and I got to work with the queen herself, Viola Davis, and then the world shut down. So I am putting all of my mental energy when not self-taping to this election and making some changes and doing all that I can to give and to get the vote out. So everybody, please vote.
Amen. Sister.
Definitely that. Lewis.
Well, I was in Vancouver shooting an episode of season 2 of a show called Home Before Dark, which is an Apple TV show. I literally got out of there and finished that episode just in time for COVID to shut us all down. I was scheduled to go back up there in June. Obviously that didn't happen. I still don't know what's going to happen, but I believe they're going back to work this month. And then everything else that I've done is already aired. FBI Most Wanted, Dirty John. And so, like Lauren, I actually just had my first 2 self-tapes last week. Otherwise, just I've been concentrating on a lot of union matters. I'm a big unionist for the Screen Actors Guild. So
beautiful.
And we all should be paying attention to that.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, especially as the industry is shifting due to COVID. Yes. You guys gotta, do what you can to protect yourselves. So absolutely. Michael, not to leave you last, but what all are you working on? I love that hat, by the way. I got to give you a shout out. That is the dapperest hat, like for real.
Cheers. Thank you.
But not everybody can wear that hat.
Facts.
Everybody can wear this hat, man. It just makes me like 13% less criminal looking. or maybe 30% more. I just I just look like I don't want to pay my taxes, and I live on a yacht in Central Paris. I finished a movie with a bunch of my good buddies for Netflix just before. Well, I guess sometime in January we finished, but it's called Sweet Girl. Jason Momoa and Marissa Tomei is in it, who's a very dear friend, and our buddy Brian Andrew Mendoza directed it. It was a really tribal affair. It was our little Ohana squad, and Netflix gave us a bunch of money and said, "Go make an action movie with a lot of shots of Jason." And I grew a mustache, and I was like, "Let's do it. It'll be fun." And then I did a pilot for NBC. I started doing a pilot for NBC called La Brea, but we were 6 days into a 20-day shoot when the shutdown happened. So back home, and I've been chopping a lot of wood. We had a couple of trees down on the property, so I've been out splitting logs for about 2 weeks now. I've been writing. I'm really interested in watching your short film, Janina, because I'm preparing to direct a bunch of little shorts. And
tell me if I can help in any way, as a production wise, or in any way that I can be of service. You just tell me.
Mahalo. Well, I'll probably have some questions. One of the things I want to do is kind of bring people along for the ride as I kind of cut my teeth as a director, and the mistakes I make, and there will be innumerable, I'm certain, but I want to expose all of that too, and take everybody along for like the journey of like, we fucked that thing up, let's try something new, and it's I don't know, I just think that it could be an interesting sort of way. I want to approach it with a lot of humility and be upfront about my missteps and then sort of how to correct things. So I may have a lot of advice-seeking phone calls, Janina. So prepare yourself.
Call Carrie. Carrie is great.
Yeah, anytime, baby.
That's what I was
Anytime.
gonna say. Carrie is like a full-fledged.
No, this I know. I've seen Carrie's movies from way back.
Yeah.
I just like made my heart like fill up with so much joy. She used to do these movies that won all these awards like everywhere they went, and so that's also
anytime, baby.
where you own out, you know what I mean?
You female directors, I love it.
Yes.
That's right.
And then also like making content during this time, during COVID, has been so weird and interesting, and coming up with a whole new way to tell stories using this, you know? I know we're going back to work, but there's no guarantee that that's going to be able to sustain a long time. I know we're going to get a vaccine. I feel confident that everything is going to be okay. But right now, we're in a
very precarious,
very precarious place.
It is sort of exciting because the genre of screen life has been around now since we've had webcams.
Right.
And the pandemic will make artists push the parameters.
Yeah, we already are.
To mature the genre, so it's not just repetitive. It's actually really exciting.
Yep, I think
there is a creative catharsis to all this, which is going to be amazing. And I gotta say, Season Hatcher said mistakes make life fun. So I think we're all looking forward to this experience. It looks like we are about out of time. So I'm going to start with Michael. If you want to say something as a send off to the fans that are watching, and we'll go around for everyone else. But if you want to give a quick one. Hey!
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
Lewis.
Just thank you. Thank you for all, I've been lucky enough to be on shows that have some really rabid fans, and they're beautiful and they're lovely, and they keep us energized and keep us going. So thank you all, every one of you.
Absolutely. Kristin?
Yeah, I feel such gratitude because we don't get to do what we are born to do. I mean, you don't do this for a living if you can do anything else. So this is it for us. We got to create by ourselves and with other people. And to get to come together with other people and make stuff is the greatest joy of our lives. And we can't do it if people don't watch it.
Of course.
So
of
it's
course.
this marriage, and thank you.
Absolutely. Lauren?
Yes, just the Trubies are, dare I say, a base like no other, and just so grateful and miss the actual exchange of getting to do this in person. But love you all, and please, please vote.
Yes, yes. Carrie?
Yeah, it's just been so fun because people keep rediscovering this show,
Yeah.
you know, and that's been really exciting. Like at the beginning of the COVID, it was like offered for free or something for a while, and suddenly there was a whole new group of fans that were
Right.
too young to watch it when it first came out, and then they all discovered it, and it's just been thrilling because you think something is done and then it just is the gift that keeps on giving. So thank you for giving that gift to us, and I just want to say hug your neck.
Of course, of course. Janina?
It is such a rarity to be a part of an iconic show. I mean, for another 50 years, people are going to know now.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So very well said. I'm going to thank you guys as a quick reminder to the fans that are watching, whether it's live or watching later on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Please check out those paid exclusive experiences like one-on-one private video chats, autographs, and custom video recorded messages at wizardworldvirtual.com. It has been an utter pleasure to speak with all of you. Thank you guys so very much. Kristin,
Thank you.
Janina, Michael, Lewis. Thank you guys for your time, your talent, your light. You guys are an absolute gift. Once again, I'm Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics, saying thank you to Wizard World for bringing us all together. And I hope you guys had a great time with the cast of True Blood. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great time, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us.